Hello and welcome to Anfield Agenda. This is our One Football news show where we go through the One Football app, bring you some of the most interesting stories from the week, have a look through them, discuss them, see what's bollocks, see what's not. This show is brought to you in association, of course, with One Football. There's a link in the description if you want to download it. It's a fantastic app full of statistics, analysis of games, previews, articles, news, everything you need in a football app. Like I said, there's a link in the description below. Click that link, it'll bring it straight to the App Store on either your Android or your iPhone. Our first story this week surrounds Kelleher, as Alisson Becker looks set to miss out on this weekend's game against Leeds due to stupid FIFA rules, if we're honest. FIFA has ruled that the Brazilian players in the Premier League cannot play this weekend, basically because Brazil are kicking up a fuss because the Premier League clubs wouldn't allow their players to leave for international duty, even though it would mean they'd miss games due to travel and quarantine and stuff like that, which is a ridiculous rule. Currently, we will be without Alisson Becker, Fabinho and Roberto Firmino this weekend. Firmino injured already, granted, but still a very ridiculous rule. As it stands, Kelleher is set to start in goal this weekend, as reports from the Echo suggest that Adrian is now third choice in the pecking order, which I think is correct, to be honest. Not just because I'm a Kelleher lookalike as everyone says, but I think he's genuinely just a better option at this stage. Even if they are at a similar level, Adrian getting old, he's already shown he has a mistake in him. Why not give the opportunity to Kelleher? He's a young up and coming keeper. Obviously people at the club see talent in him, or otherwise he wouldn't be here still. Even the choice to give Adrian a new contract seems a weird one to me, if he's definitely going to be third choice. I'd imagine Henderson will probably slot him midfield for Fabinho with maybe Thiago and Keita ahead of him, which isn't bad. Look, we should be beating Leeds with that team if we're honest. I think we'll be okay on Sunday regardless if we have to play Kelleher in goal and maybe lose Fabinho in midfield. Like, in my opinion, we should be beating Leeds anyway, and that's no disrespect to Leeds at all. Fantastic team, but we should be winning that game regardless. You may have seen my tweet this week on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. So some of the rules were saying that if Liverpool or Leeds have Rafinha not playing. So if Liverpool or Leeds play any of the ineligible Brazil players, it'll be a 3-0 loss. So what happens if Liverpool play Fabinho and Leeds play Rafinha? Is that a 3-0 loss for both teams? A 3-0 loss and a 3-0 win for both teams? Is that 3 points? I really hope we do start them and that Leeds start Rafinha anyway, just to see what happens. I'm genuinely curious at this stage. But yeah, Kelleher does look set to start in goal this weekend. It's a great opportunity for the young man. I'm sure he'll play in some of the cups as well, but that Premier League experience will be vital going forward. We've spoken about Jude Bellingham on this channel a good bit over the past while. I know Craig's fully on board, Jack's fully on board, we're all on board. So it was exciting to see reports from the likes of Paul Joyce and I think Patrick Berger from Sport 1 were basically saying that Liverpool do hold significant interest in Jude Bellingham for next summer. Yes, again, next summer FC. The reliable Paul Joyce of the Times, of course, very reliable journalist, has said that Liverpool are expected to pursue Jude Bellingham next summer. Again, pursuing FC. Every player we're monitoring, pursuing, looking at, considering a bid. Liverpool definitely are looking at Jude Bellingham. The problem with this is he would probably cost in the region of at least £80 million, which is probably worth it for a player of his calibre at that age. He's only 18 years of age, but will FSG fork out for that? I'm not saying that as FSG slander, it's just the way our model seems to work. I don't know if they will pay that or not. And I don't think there's any chance of a cut price deal here, because Dortmund will definitely not want to sell next summer. Erling Haaland's release clause is coming up, so he'll be gone next summer, like 99% sure he will be gone. They lost Sancho this year, of course, like they won't want to lose Bellingham as well. So I think it will take a massive offer of at least 70 or 80 million to get him out of that club. But we'd all love him at Anfield, wouldn't we? Just let's be honest, we'd all love Bellingham at Liverpool next summer. Whether this move will happen or not, that's up for you to decide really. I'm not going to tell you what to think, but I think there might be something in this. Maybe that's wishful thinking, maybe it's just reading between the lines, but let's wait and find out. We can all dream, can't we? Surely we can all dream. Our next story surrounds Salzburg's Karim Adeyemi. He's a 19-year-old striker for the Austrian club. There's talk of us moving for him in January, which would make some sense to be honest, because with AFCON coming up in January, February, a lot of people were saying we're screwed for AFCON, we'll be losing Sadio and Mo Salah. People were saying we didn't sign any attacking backup in the summer. Are the club holding off until January to bring in some attacking reinforcement? We could see a move similar to Takumi Minamino back in January 2020. A very cheap deal, low risk. We hoped he'd be decent backup. He's probably hasn't hit the heights we were hoping he would just yet. But could we see something similar this January with links to this Karim Adeyemi? And I've probably absolutely butchered that name. If anyone could tell me if that's correct or not, let me know. The 19-year-old has scored 7 goals in 8 games this season already. Yes, you can argue it's a lower level, but like, let's have a look at Erling Haaland, Sadio Mane, Naby Keita. They all came through this. Salzburg is one of the best clubs for young talent coming through. Bild are reporting it would take a bid of about £19 million to secure the signature of the talented German. He mainly plays as a striker, but he can also play on either wing, which we know Klopp loves a bit of versatility in the squad, so it would make some sense to bring him in. I'm not going to lie and say I've seen a lot of him. I've seen clips, I've seen he's very pacey, he's good in front of goal. And I know that Liverpool do love working with the Red Bull clubs at Salzburg and Leipzig. So let's see, there could be something in this. It's definitely one to watch. Our next story surrounds Marco Asensio of Real Madrid, a player Liverpool have been linked with constantly over the years. The Spanish winger scored 37 goals and got 22 assists in 196 appearances for Real Madrid. Reports are circulating that Liverpool are considering a £30 million bid for the winger in January. Again, this kind of ties in with what I said previously about Adeyemi of Salzburg. Maybe we are looking at someone in January. Maybe that is the plan, to hold off, see who's available, bring in someone hopefully on the cheap who hasn't been getting game time, maybe even a loan is possible. Maybe not for Asensio, but for some player. It's a player we've constantly been linked with. It's not, I don't think there's anything in this one exactly, but there's enough reports suggesting maybe an attacker in January to make me think that we may be looking at someone on the cheap or on loan in January. So keep an eye on it. It's definitely worth considering. But on Asensio, would I take him at Liverpool? I probably would, if I'm honest. He's a better backup than Divock Origi, and he's pretty much our only backup currently with the way things are going. There was a lot of hype around Asensio a few years ago mainly. It's kind of died off now. But you put any player like that under Jurgen Klopp and I'd back him to perform. Like, Klopp just has this thing of getting the best out of people. So let's wait and see. We might get him, we might not. Leave your comments below and let me know your opinion on him. Our final story is around Milan's Franck Kessie, who we've been linked with a lot over the summer. There's been talk of him rejecting AC Milan's latest contract offers, which would mean he's a free agent next summer. Now, there's been some reports that suggest that we might make a move in January, which would make no sense, let's be honest. Why would we pay for a player when we're already fairly stingy, when we could wait an extra 6 months, get him for free? A report from Il Milanista suggests that AC Milan want Thiago in return for Franck Kessie. Come on, Thiago for Franck Kessie. 6 months contract Franck Kessie for Thiago Alcantara. No, it's not happening. It's definitely not happening. But I wouldn't rule out a move possibly next summer for free. I know we do like our free agents. We got Milner, we got Matip. He's been touted as an alternative to Fabinho, not a replacement, an alternative, which I've thought for a while is kind of lacking in our squad. Yes, we have a decent amount of midfielders, but Fabinho is the only out-and-out number 6 and defensive midfielder. Yes, Henderson can slot in there, I'm sure Thiago can do a job, Milner can, but we don't have a specialist in that area aside from Fabinho. So let's say like last season we lost all of our centre-backs, Fabinho had to be lost out of midfield. We didn't actually have someone to slot in there instead. Franck Kessie would be that. Kessie scored 13 goals and got 4 assists in Serie A last season, which sounds very impressive, and not to take away from that, the vast majority of them goals were penalties. I know a lot of people always give out about the fact that we never really score from midfield. If we do sign Kessie, that's not going to change this. Yes, it's nice to have another penalty taker at the club, of course. We already have Mo Salah. Well, Fabinho's very good at them. I'm sure most of the attacking players would back themselves, but he's not going to dislodge Mo Salah, let's be honest. Salah scored 14 penalties in a row now, which is a record since 2000, I believe, the year 2000. I think Matt Letizia got 23 in a row, which ended in 2000, and Mo Salah now is 14, which is the next best record. So there's no chance Kessie's going to come in and dislodge him, to be honest. Like I said, Kessie will be a free agent next summer as it stands. He'll be 25 years of age. The only thing I can see that may hamper a move is his wage demands. There's no clear indication of what that would be, but he's a free agent. You'd imagine it'll be fairly high, and signing on fees and all that, so... But let's see, I would like another defensive mid in the squad, to be honest, just as that cover, like I said, if we do need to drag Fabinho back to centre-back, or even just to rotate him, just to have another option, because I know our win percentage drops an awful lot without Fabinho in that midfield, so it's nice to have another option as a defensive mid. That concludes this week's One Football News Show. Like I said, there's a link in the description below. Click that and bring you straight to the App Store to download the app. Fantastic app, full of statistics, news, results, fixtures, videos, interviews, everything you need in a football app. I've been Connor, thank you for watching Anfield Agenda, and up the Reds.